Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are back in the John Bart. Now it's been a long time since we've had a video in the John Bart. I do play it occasionally, but it is a fun ship, especially when it behaves. Now sure, the Richelieu and the Jean Bart can have some of the nastiest shotguns that you'll ever have on a battleship. And I mean that. I mean they do have some of the nastiest shotguns that you will ever see on a battleship. But boy, when they behave, those French magic bullets just do not care. They do some strange things, and usually it ends poorly for the enemy team. So yeah, we're going to showcase the Jean Bart as best we can in this one to just show just how nasty this ship can actually be. Because we are not going to hold anything back. We're going to bully the enemy team. So let's just get out here and do it. Now, first thing you're going to notice is, I believe we're top tier, which is rare these days in a tier 7 ship to be top tier, but it does happen occasionally. Now, here at the beginning, I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. You guys know I'm not a big fan of leaving your spawn to go somewhere else, but when you spawn middle of the map, in my opinion, now this is a controversial opinion, but in my opinion, it's better to take one side or the other. And the way I decide this is usually by looking at the team compositions and seeing what we have on either side. Now, in this particular match, it's pretty balanced. So, what are we going to do? Well, we're going to head towards mid-left. We're not really going to commit to going outside right away. We're going to put ourselves in a position that we maybe can help our team right in the middle of the map, where we can potentially shoot both sides. Now, we get a shot out at the Malfi here, and I'm not going to lie, that man got real lucky. Because that looked like it was going to be nasty. And you can see, I hurry up and I get the reload booster out there because I am salivating at a broadside of Malfi. And he just gets away with it. I don't know. I think I rushed that last shot and wasn't able to get him. But you can see, with our current build, with the Jean Bart, our reload is so fast when we hit the reload booster, we actually get 2 full reloads out. It's less than 10 seconds to reload the guns on a battleship. I know, it's ridiculous. And when used properly, it can be absolutely devastating for anybody on the receiving end who decides to go broadside to a Jean Bart. Jean Bart is one of the few ships that I will almost never go broadside to. Solely due to the fact that I have no idea if he's got his reload booster ready. I can take usually 1 broadside hit from people, but to know that you've got 2, possibly 3 broadsides out, that's death. Like, you can't take that risk. Now, we've got a broadside North Carolina, and I was salivating, but he does turn in a little bit, and those shells land a little high. And that's kind of where we're at with this ship is, like, the shells aren't the slowest shells in the world. They do get to the target with a relatively flat angle, which is why this thing can score some of the nastiest hits in the game when you get dispersion that's decent. And as you can see, these 2 North Carolinas are getting chunked. Now, obviously, we're not getting the damage that we get, say, out of Kansas. But, I mean, these 15-inch guns slap. And they have a tendency to find citadels on things that other ships maybe don't. That's why I call them French magic bullets. But as you can see, like, we are slapping them. If we can get the shells to actually hit the waterline, or, you know, a little further down the side of the ship, rather than hitting the superstructure and deck armor, then we would actually have a much better chance. Now remember, North Carolina is only a tier 6 battleship, which means it has 25mm bow and stern, which means we overmatch it with 15-inch guns, which is why we are just shredding this man, and there's nothing he can do about it except run away, which is exactly what he's trying to do. He's trying to get behind the island and disappear. But as you can see, we get 1 more salvo off, and this one is our best looking salvo yet, but you can see it just kind of spreads out at the end, and we get a couple of pins, but not a whole lot out of it. But then we've got a Massachusetts out here. The Massachusetts is angled away slightly, but he's still mostly broadside, but he gets to disappear at the perfect time to avoid getting blapped. Now, up to this point, we have been able to really punch the enemy and take basically no damage in return. We're at 41,000 damage in, what, 3 minutes? Like, that's pretty nasty. Now, obviously, we've had better starts to matches in, say, the Kansas, Montana, and stuff. But for only 8 guns, you got to remember, these are only 8 guns. And these are shotgun turrets. Like, that's why I like to close the distance in my Jean Bart. My Jean Bart is not the long-range sniper, despite being a dispersion build for the most part. It just doesn't do that well at range for me. Maybe it does for you, and more power to you if that's what you go for. But for me, this thing really excels up close. Now, obviously, when you get closer, you do run the risk of everybody shooting your turrets. Now, they have kind of buffed the turrets on, I know for a fact on the Richelieu, but I think they actually buffed them slightly on the Bismarck, or not Bismarck, but the Jean Bart as well. I could be wrong, and if I am, please let me know. I do not know everything. You guys know this. Like, I'm not 100% sure on everything. Like, it's hard for me to keep track of everything in my brain. But you can see there's a hood out here, and we're broadside to him, and he actually punches us. And then you've got the cruisers over here. You can see 90% of the enemy team is on our side. Like, you see our team, we have 5 ships on the Alpha Cap versus a destroyer and cruiser. And that's it. A destroyer and cruiser. I think there was a battleship over there, maybe. But we lost to Gneiseno early in this match because he just went out and went broadside in front of that entire force that's coming around the island. Now, I play this next section about as poorly as you could possibly play it, okay? I'm not gonna lie. There is so many things that I could have done better at the end of this that would have netted one of the nastiest games I've had in the Jean Bart. Now, remember, I've had some really good ones. I've had 200k plus games in the Jean Bart. I believe I had one in the Jean Bart where I like double or triple citadeled an Iowa at the end of a game, or maybe it was a Massachusetts, and got over 200k. I think the video is called Finally, if I remember correctly. But you can see I am stopping. I'm using the island for cover for the most part, but then I'm like, I overrun the island and I just throw it in forward, and I'm kind of ignoring the hood at this point. Ignoring the hood was the worst thing that I could do here, because it's going to allow him to sit out there on my side, and now not only that, but I'm going to not be able to limit who can shoot me, which is one of my rules that I always try to like tell people. One of the #1 rules of survival is limiting who can shoot you. Use the islands to your advantage. Take away some of those angles that people have on you. But knowing that the hood isn't necessarily the most dangerous thing, especially at range, I start turning in to bow tank these guys coming around the corner, because I know that up close and personal, the Jean Bart is just absolutely disgusting. We do still have a reload booster too, so we have all of the things that we could possibly ask for, and you don't get a better shot than this. You just don't. But unfortunately, we're not able to punch the Citadel, which is odd, because anything else would have punched Citadel on that North Carolina right there. But then the Massachusetts comes around. He doesn't get overmatched by us, so we go ahead and try to take the shot while he's angled, so that we go through that bow side plating. We smash him, and you can see the accuracy so much better at close range. And I know, in my heart of hearts, that I kill this North Carolina on this next shot. Unless we get the worst dispersion on the planet. But as you can see, straight through the bow, destroyed it. No problem. Then the Amalfi comes around the corner, and rather than trying to focus the guy that's closing in on us with the secondaries, with the bigger guns, I figure go for the cruisers, because French magic bullets generally get rid of cruisers pretty quickly. But then we start getting awful dispersion. We do get a decent chunk off of them, but you can see these cruisers are setting us on fire. The secondaries from the Massachusetts setting us on fire as well. And the one downside of this ship is it is very susceptible to HE. But I'm trying to hook up on this freaking mass right here, and I know he's dead, but we don't get a Citadel. I don't understand it. That really, really hurt. Like, I should have been able to kill him there. Now, I can't stay broadside to this man. He is punching us right here. I'm turning with him, which is the absolute worst thing I can do. But you can see, I kind of just leave him alone and go for the Tallinn here, because angled cruiser at this range should be death. But my French magic bullets just decide, no, he's just gonna take it. I don't know how. And then we get triple fired. We do have a fast reload, so we're gonna be able to do that. We dodge his torpedoes easily. He decides to bow tank us, and then as he turns, again, this should be Citadel City. And it's just not. But we do dodge his torpedoes again, and unfortunately, we are not going to survive long enough as he gets a third fire on us. We're just not going to survive. But we did everything we could there. We just got some really unfortunate RNG on those cruisers at the end. If we are able to kill those cruisers with the citadels that we should have gotten right there, like this is a nasty game. We kill those 2 cruisers, and then we kill that Massachusetts, which actually the Massachusetts died. My teammate's able to finish him off. And then we have the few guy, or the North Carolina that's behind the island that we would have been able to deal with, and then the Hood. Like, this game had so much potential. And you can see, I'm kind of like just baffled right now how I managed to die in that situation. I was so sure that I was going to kill those cruisers, and it just never happened. The French magic bullets let me down. But that's not to take away from the game. I mean, we got 62 targets hit, 46 secondaries hit. We shot a plane down. We got a fire with our secondaries. And we killed 2 people and did 142,000 damage. So we have completely crippled the enemy team. The Massachusetts was the most dangerous ship on that side. And we took everything from them, leaving them with just enough for my team to finish off. Now, our team could easily throw this match, but because we crippled them, they can't really afford to push in. The Hood is the only one that can really push in. We've smashed the North Carolina. Sure, he's healed some of it back, but we smashed him, and we smashed, you know, the cruisers. So they can't afford to push in, and we have the cap control, which means we have the game well in hand. Which brings us to a point that I've made multiple times recently, which is don't win harder. Recognize when you have the advantage, and do not put yourself in a place where you're going to end up in a YouTube video throwing a freaking game. It's ridiculous how many times nobody can just, like, everybody goes into a fight. This is a very even fight. Regardless of what you might say about the 2 cruisers having less health or the Hood being the big hitter here, our team is mostly comprised of cruisers, which means they're always one shot away from certain death. It only takes one good RNG roll and you're dead. Which is why I'm like, why do you put yourself in a position to throw a match? The North Carolina goes full broadside in front of 2 battleships, one of which can shoot him currently, and he has no hit points. Like, what are you doing here? What are you hoping to get away with as he goes down? And he didn't even get to shoot the Hood. So, these are the things, and it's at this moment that I'm like, oh my god, we're going to lose this match. You got the Ochakov running aground, the Hood is pushing in, we've got another cruiser right on the backside of this island. Like, I can see how this match is falling apart, even before it goes completely south. Like, it just feels, you have a feeling sometimes when your team is about to throw real hard. Fortunately, these cruisers do come to their senses, and they do realize that they don't have to do anything here. There's not enough time for the enemy to capture the base and win. There's just not. All these guys have to do is survive, and we win. However, if they give themselves up to be shot, there's a good chance that the enemy could potentially still win this. Because when it's just 4 cruisers, every salvo that comes your way is a potential dev strike. It's just the way it is. So you can't take those risks. And that's why I like showing videos like this. It's not to down or diss anybody. It's literally just a teaching moment, guys. There's a lot of folks that just do not recognize these situations. And every time I post a video like this, I hope that it gets one person's attention and lets them know, hey, I need to pay attention to the score more often, or I need to pay attention to the clock more often. Because those things will win you matches. Recognizing that you have a points lead late in the game is a game changer. It allows you to dictate the ending of the match, especially in an agile cruiser. You don't want to be up close. You don't want to be 9 kilometers away from a battleship that can absolutely punch you. Now, fortunately, our Ochakov manages to finish off their North Carolina that was low health. It's a tie ball game now in terms of ships, and there's only 37 seconds left. So they're not going to win this match. We have a 600 point advantage almost. It's 550 points or whatever. But these guys do not need to do anything. And you can see they're using the island to keep themselves out of trouble, with the exception of the Ochakov here, who is trying. And then, of course, Hood comes around the corner because he has to try to kill things. And he gets torped by the shores, and the game is over. Like, we're at 960 points. There's 7 seconds left. So, what could have been a throw by our team ends up being okay. But it's one of those games where you just sit there. Once you've died, you have no control over the outcome of the match. And I have seen so many teams throw matches like that where they have such a huge advantage. All they have to do is nothing and they win. And they throw the game. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Did you enjoy this? If you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.